Show them the PRI show?
Yeah.
So this could be, hold on, I gotta get mine. This is a very expensive show.
Wrap on the PRI show.
It is. Learned some stuff. Met some people.
Yeah.
Shot some videos. Bought something.
I mean,
Best you're gonna do, PRI, right?
That's what the show is kind of all about.
Making his way toward the speedway now from Colorado Springs, Colorado, with the Lamb Excavating, Dirt Perfect, Diamond Equipment, Skills USA, Ground to Glory number 77. It's Jeff Dodge. Jeff Dodge in car number 77.
It's PRI, and I pretty much have lost my voice, which is a bummer. This is as good as it'll get today, so I'm gonna do this. Sammy and Justin came. That's Maxine. She's headed to Ohio to get fixed. And we're headed to the show today, so we'll bring you along. All right, like I said, I lost my voice, so Nick is gonna pick up documenting our journey from here.
All right, so we're getting ready to head into the PRI show. We're a little late today, but hey, we had to do a little bit of work this morning. Jeff and I, we had to deliver a dump truck to a job site before we come to work, or come to PRI. But yeah, we're in downtown Indy right now, Meridian Street, getting ready to park. Hopefully we're not too messed up with that, but we got here bright and early yesterday, so we got a good head start on the show, so we'll see what today brings, right? Oh, and we had to stop and get a key because somebody lost his parents' house key.
All right, so we made a few stops. Stop one was the wheel guy. He's gonna be mad. Wade, Kaiser Wheels. Good stop.
So my vote for the coolest thing I've seen at the show, right here, it's Wade's wheel balancer. Bolts in against the back side of the hub. They're brand new, so you'll run an extra long 3 bolts there. And probably like 3 jet nuts. And it goes in the back of the wheel. Tires have been such a huge challenge for us. Consistency, getting them right. I think this is something that is really, really neat to kind of help make the tire game a little bit easier.
We stopped at the, was it the Swindell?
Yeah, we stopped and saw
Jeff's.
Swindell. Looked at his new inflator.
Yes.
So growing up, watching the Outlaws as a kid, this guy right here was kind of a favorite in the black and yellow 7TW. Jeff, you have kind of, really your whole family's always been innovators. We run your bleeders, and once we talked to you and learned how to set them, like, that's completely changed the tire game, and I think the tires is one of the most difficult parts of what we do. There's been some pretty widely talked about rule changes with one of the major national traveling series, and Jeff, you've built a system that'll allow someone to take full advantage of that. Can you tell us about your new air pump system?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we started out with the bleeders, and they just going into the axle. We came up, or I came up with the design for the electronic bleeder, and we've been doing that now for about 8 years. It's kind of a game changer because everything else was just a manual bleeder.
Yep.
Like a little spring poppet's all it was, and they were not very accurate. You couldn't hardly ever get them right. They didn't get the air out fast enough, so I just got tired of the problem that I had. So I figured there had to be an electronic way to do it, and so I put my mind to it, did it. We got the patents on it and everything. I ran it for about 6 months before we got the patent all filed, so I hit it in my uniform and parked away from everybody, and I go shove it in the axle and put the hubcap on. Nobody ever knew I had it for 6 months. But it wasn't illegal, but I didn't want nobody to have it. So that's been going great. Pretty much anybody that wins races is going to have these in their car now.
If you see the little orange eyes sticking out the end of all the axles at the beginning of the race, that's Jeff's bleeders. And
that's the bleeder all lit up nice and red with a good little dot there. You know, we're not trying to shoot anybody, it's just a little red.
Well, and the astute poacher of information can walk by, because with a push of a button, it'll give you the current pressure in the tire, and it's pretty handy deal. Now you've got.
Well, then what we do now is we've got the micro bleeder, so it fits in the little bitty axle. It's the same bleeder, but we have the nice quick pin release to put them in for the midgets, because they step up a little bit bigger. And then this since the high limits decided to go ahead and allow air pumps to put air back in them for next year, which we kind of, I didn't think that it ever should have been allowed. But they outlawed them 2.5 years ago because you're adding weight, you're adding cost. I mean, I think it's something that might help you 2% of the time, maybe. Or if the powers that be leave you sitting on a red flag for 15, 20 friggin' minutes and not let the crew come out there and the tires back up, then that makes the tires dangerous. So,
which does happen.
Yeah, but I mean, in my personal opinion, I think they ought to open the red immediately and then run the guys off in 4 minutes. You can't clean a red flag up any quicker than 5 minutes anyway.
Quit talking sensibly. Yeah. So I mean, if you do it, if the guys know it's going to be open, they're sitting there chomping at the bit when you get the red flag. When all the cars stop, the ambulance stops, and the wrecker stops, the guys come running on the track. You give them 3 minutes, you blow the horn, they got 1 minute to get off the track. If they're not off the track, they go to the back. To be fair, let's talk real quick about what that looks like. So you're open on the red, guy runs up with an air tank, tires have cooled off, you've got this bleeder in the axle, you bump each tire with air and until the bleeder starts to bleed off and you walk away.
And it doesn't take 30 seconds. So, I mean, if you got all the crews trained to know that they can go do that, you can always have the crews back off the track before you ever finish cleaning up a red flag.
You could even have an air red where all you're allowed to take is one crew member, an air tank, and something to take a wheel cover off.
It's pretty freaking simple. Because, I mean, if you got guys that didn't get off the track in time, send their ass to the back. Tomorrow night, they won't do that. They'll be gone. So anyway, I'm done bitching about that. But anyway, the pump deal is, this basically just is a pump. It's not a bleeder or anything like that. So it is going to take the place where the bleeder goes. I got the wrong spacer on a flat axle. But anyway, and then it will connect in the wheel like this. And then when the pressure goes down in the tire, this will sense that. It'll run for 30 seconds and then recheck the pressure and make sure it's up back. It's gotten the pressure back up to where it's supposed to be.
It looks like this will be running to one of your 2 bleeder ports in the wheel.
Well, and now, released here this year, is my new bleeder that will go directly in the wheel. So we have no more hoses or anything. It's set just like you use a phone. I've kind of had this in my pocket for 2 years, but when they did this, I figured, all right, now's the time to go ahead and get this done. So, because you're not going to run the pump, most guys that I've talked to aren't going to put them in except for maybe the feature. So, because you don't need it all night, it's heavy. I mean, mine's about 1.5 pounds, and I think it's the lightest one out there. And this one has a monster pump in it. I mean, it blows. That'll keep the pressure up. We got a little programming work to do on this one now to get it finished and to get the time delays right we wanted and all that stuff we've got already done with the bleeders. We're going to transfer that into these. So it will run independently of the bleeder. So this will be in your wheel. Then for your spares, you can have this already in your wheel. If you have a flat on a yellow or something, you're not having to jack with the bleeder or hook it back up or none of that stuff. So when you go back out, you've got a good working bleeder in your tire you put on. Or like all night long, you're changing spacing, wheel spacing on the wheel. You had to take the bleeder out, unplug it, move it, put it back, put the bleeder back in. Well, now it's already in the wheel. You don't have to touch none of it all night long. So that's going to simplify all that. Plus the weight is nothing. I mean, we've gone to basically we're talking ounces.
And then we also stopped and looked at a wing pump valve thingy.
Yeah. The one from this show is Slade 0-cylinder. I mean, really all you can say about that is it's about time. But plumbing all plumbs in the front, so you don't have hoses running down the side of it. Seems like it's a well-built piece, and I think we'll probably set the standard for wing cylinders going forward.
Now we're going to go try to find, can I tell them what we're looking for next, or is that trying to find the responsible booth so we can race next year? See, I'm like your wife now. I'll find a sore subject and I just keep poking.
Well, we're blazing the trail, dude.
I'm going to just say you're number one.
I do know people that happen to be in that industry, just in case you're wondering.
Well, we'll talk.
We'll let them comment down below if they know what industry we're talking
I'll
about.
have my people get in touch with your people.
Okay, yeah.
Put us in touch with him.
Yeah, because we're definitely too busy to talk to each other. That is for sure.
Way too busy to talk to each other about that.
All right, well, we're going to keep walking and see what else we find.
When I was a kid, part of when I was falling in love with short track racing was Thursday Night Thunder, Saturday Night Thunder. I was a big fan of this guy, and definitely have fond memories being a kid watching this car race. I run into this guy for a while at Lowe's. Darren, you guys went back to Oklahoma, bought Ultra Shield race products, retired technically, but from full-time racing, obviously still show up in a blue 69 car and make everybody sweat. So walking through the show, I saw this, and I guess as a point of reference, like, we've been running laminated tear-offs for quite a while. When did you switch over to the other guy's product?
I've been using laminated tear-offs. I want to say like 2000.
Yeah.
You know, it was probably around the time that it really came out. I don't remember using them in 1999. So at least 2000, 2001. Obviously, it was a superior idea.
Changed the game.
Absolutely.
I mean, once you did it, you were like, I know I'm throwing dollar bills out the left side of this race car, but I will not go back.
You can't put a price tag on being able to see, and that's, you know, at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't. If you want to be competitive and be successful, you got to be able to see, because your competitors can. So
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So their product was patent protected for a long time.
Yep.
And we had all sorts of daydreams over the years of how you might get around that patent and have the same thing for less money. And then what do I see? And the first thing I did is I came up and I'm like, wait a minute, because Ultra Shields always had tear-offs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, oh, that is laminated together.
Yep.
So tell us what you've got going on here.
Yeah, so obviously we're, we've always done single layer tear-offs, still to this day do a lot of single layer tear-offs. But obviously the laminated market is one that we would like to get into. It's already sort of our space, we feel like, and we've worked hard on my goal when I bought Ultra Shield Race Products in April of 21 was to have laminated tear-offs at the PRI show in 21. So here we are, almost 4 years later, and finally have them on display. And it's been a process to get to where I feel like we have a product that obviously is not only as good, I feel confident is fractionally better than an already amazing product that's been around for 20 years. So, so trying to get people to trust, a new product, knowing, that the competitors had a great product for 20 years and giving us a try, but we've had great repeat business once everybody tries them. I feel very confident in ours that we're, every bit as good as the other ones out there, and there's obviously a few others that are starting to pop up with more and more laminated options. But, we wanted to be a little bit cheaper to be affordable for, to be more affordable for the racer, but at the same time offer the same quality product to, offer that same advantage that everybody obviously is looking for out on the racetrack.
I mean, from my own standpoint, and I guess I've kind of known you for a while, like, you've done great things with Ultra Shield seats. I used to sit in an Ultra Shield seat, and this is far superior to what I sat in. You've done this, you've been a driver, you've been in this sport since you were pretty young, like 16, 17 years old, probably starting off racing sprint cars. And like, I have no doubt in my mind that your product, when you say, hey, it's ready to go, is ready to go. I look forward to buying them because, frankly, the other product was great, but I feel like I have some relationship with you and want to support what you've got going on. So we're kind of use this as a transition. We really want to show the opportunity in the trades, and you guys employ welders and fabricators. You're a U.S. business running in Tulsa?
We are in Flint, Texas, which is a
Flint,
suburb
Texas.
of Tyler, Texas. So,
okay.
Yeah, I still call Oklahoma my hometown. That's where I was born and raised, and we'll never change that. But we lived in Indianapolis for 20 plus years when we were racing, and when we purchased Ultra Shield, we moved to Tyler, to Flint, and that's where we reside now. So, you know, we employ anywhere from, you know, I think we only have 16 or 17 right now. At most, we've had around 19. Need to add a few more people, but yeah, we've got a unique blend of, you know, a welding shop of men that's, you know, 7 or 8 welders that are, you know, manufacturing all of our seats from, you know, bare sheets of aluminum to finished product, and also a sewing shop full of women that do all the interiors, all of our seat belts, all of our window nets, you know, all of our fabric stuff as well. So we do punch our single layer tear offs are you know, manufactured and built in-house. So almost all the products with our name on it are manufactured at our facility there in Flint, Texas.
So if you were speaking to a young person who maybe liked to work with their hands, build, create, and they were considering whether to explore a career in the trades, why would Ultra Shield be a place that someone would want to come and work? And what would you impart to them as far as what types of skills they should look at developing in order to come to a place like Ultra Shield?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question. You know, truthfully, skill is a huge asset. But in all fairness, the first thing we look for is personality, and how is it going to mesh with the people in the room, and their work ethic. You know, if we can find somebody with the right attitude and the right work ethic that is excited to show up and build American-made products, that, you know, we're in the safety business, that, you know, gets the idea that we're building products that are protecting people doing not only racing for a living, but also racing as a hobby. And they show up with a good attitude, we can teach them a skill. Obviously, if they become skilled and all that, that's, you know, a win-win. We don't see that very often. So, you know, honestly, having the great work ethic and willing to learn and listen and to learn from those that are in the business and that are teaching is by far the biggest, you know, attribute that we look for. But obviously, you know, welding aluminum is not as common, so there's not a lot of skilled aluminum welders out there, so a lot of times, and it is opposite of welding steel, so a lot of times trying to get those transitions can be difficult. And a lot of our employees have been around long before me. Some of them, we have multiples that have been there 15 plus years. So I mean, that's a huge asset to have people that know the business inside and out, and that's helped make the transition from us as owners come in to have such a solid base of employees. That's why obviously we left it in Tyler, Texas, not only because we love Tyler, but, you know, because there's just no reason to uproot and start over and try to get a new, you know, core group if we decided to move it with really no advantage.
So we're here with Richard. He works at CP Carrillo. A Ground to Glory story. So Richard started off in the shop, and you're a sales manager now, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So can you tell us a little bit about your story of working at CP Carrillo and how that went?
Well, I had a friend already working there, and I was looking for a new job and got a job there working in the shop. I started working on a Wells and Dix mill, doing the boring operation on the pin ends and the rod. Progressed to burning CNCs, and was in charge of part of the shop for a while. And then I was approached to work in the office doing sales after 12 years in the shop.
Back when you were on the shop floor just getting started, what sort of skills did you have coming in, or did you learn them on the job?
I learned them on the job. I had no skills at all. I had no idea how to run a machine. They taught me everything there.
And the first one, was that a manual machining operation before you got into the CNC stuff?
Yeah, I ran manual mills and lathes before I started getting into the CNC stuff. Took some CNC classes after getting into the CNC, so I had a better understanding of what machines were doing. And then moved into sales.
And so you've been with CP Carrillo for
35
years. So this is a guy that found a home and has done different jobs within that home. What was it about CP Carrillo that made you want to stay?
I love the industry, actually. That's the biggest thing. The company's been great. I've gone through multiple owners, and now Carrillo sold to another group, and then they sold it to CP. And it was just been really great with CP. It's family-oriented. It's really like a family. It's like a second family, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we wish you guys the very best. If you were to have a young person watching this that maybe had some interest in going to work with their hands in something automotive or maybe construction or whatever their kind of direction was, What advice would you want to pass along as somebody who's...
Just find something you're passionate about and you love doing. That's the key. You've got to love what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, you just dread going to work every day. I get up in the morning just happy to go to work. I love it. I love meeting the people I work with, the customers, racers. It's just a lot of fun.
Awesome. One surprise here. We've done some work with Permatex products, and we really believe in them. But this one here kind of got my eyebrows up. It's a fast orange body wash, kind of geared toward a mechanic. You can buy it at O'Reilly's, and it'll get that greasy, shoppy type smell off of you. So I think this one might go in Ashley's Christmas stocking.
I'd be happy that you got it.
So that after we're done in the shop, because we got a lot of work to do in the shop.
They have laundry detergent.
It won't smell like it. Yeah, they also have laundry detergent. Same deal. So unexpected products from kind of an automotive standard setter. I just ran into this guy, and his name is Alex Stryler. I feel like I owe him a debt of gratitude because his, pardon my voice again still, his sponsor summits and what started with a thing called Meet the Sponsors was really kind of a genesis for our program that we're building to promote the trade. So this is Alex. Alex, why don't you tell some of our viewers what you're up to now?
That is true. It started with Meet the Sponsors during COVID. I forgot about that. I didn't even call them correctly. At the time, I thought they were webinars. I got on the phone with the Zoom calls with a bunch of people, a bunch of racers, and we talked about what racers or brands want from sponsorship. And the Zoom calls morphed into summits, which we now do, which are more than just one-on-ones with marketing directors talking about what they want from sponsorship, but we'll get 25 to 50 marketing directors on a call at any given time to talk about anything from networking to return on investment to social media, how to meet sponsors, what sponsors want, why brands sponsor. And the goal is to elevate motorsports one racer at a time. The key is literally to fund more individual teams, because when big money comes to a series, a lot of times it doesn't trickle down. But if every racer had more money, then all motorsports will grow.
So your next summit, the big one, is usually in January?
Yes, January 11 and 12 this year. It's a 2-day summit. Usually they're one day. This year we have a 2-day summit because you can't squeeze it all in one day.
So I can say we've done 2 or 3 of the annual summits now. We like it because you always hear some new tidbit or bit that you haven't heard before. I would highly encourage you to check it out if you're a racer and you want to elevate your game. What's the coolest thing you saw today, Mike?
You?
No, seriously.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of just really neat. So everything here's for race cars, right?
More or less.
But everything I see can build other things for race cars.
Absolutely.
So a lot of the integrated like gauge clusters and data collecting systems. I don't know if that's quite interesting.
Well, some of that stuff that certainly is probably more common on some of the more late model equipment. That technology was pioneered here 20, 30, however many years ago.
But now that, as far as the stuff that applies to you, that wheel tire sizing, whatever you want to call it.
Is that
coming from the expert tire guy over here? That would save me a lot of time and labor.
He's our tire intern.
Yeah.
Celebrity tire intern approved.
Can I allocate my sponsorship for one of those?
Well, as a matter of fact, you sure can.
The coolest thing I saw is that right after I walked in the door back, you know, where we snuck in a couple years ago, I was coming through there, and back when we were both not wanting to pay the stupid ass $40 member price to go to PRI. I come in and there's this dude with a dragster, and it looked short and it looked like a pickup, so I was like, oh, that's cool. And I go up and look at it, I start talking to him. The guy had 300,000 of this thing, it's brand new. Didn't even, without the body, I mean, roller and motor without the body at 300 grand into it. Thing, obviously, needless to say, it was sick. But the like all the different stuff it wasn't a pro stock, which is crazy because it easily could have been a pro stock. It was like one step low. But anyway, probably the coolest dragster I've seen in person. Short wheelbase. You know, you could put a Vega body on that thing. Just short wheelbase.
Nick, coolest thing you've seen?
The Swindell fuel adjustments.
The Dial-A-Jet?
That was last year, but that is really cool. That was really cool.
it.
And you can put it right on the tank, the one that you can put it right on the tank. Because that way you don't have to disconnect the thing and pick it out with a toothpick.
He can save time by having to change that and keep his head in it.
Which is hard to do.
I know, it's already a challenge. It's a challenge, so I'm trying to find ways to...
You gotta have a head to get in the game.
More time on his balance board.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, we got it.
We got it.
We're getting it, I should say.
So this was Mike's favorite thing.
Probably your dad's favorite thing.
My dad's favorite thing for sure, because tires have been a challenge for us, and between the wheel balancer and this guy, we're going to try to get our tire challenges a little more under control.
Yep.
So pretty cool thing here with the easy wheel. They've also got other tire prep stuff that is pretty cool if you're a dirt person, but this is the one that we thought would change our game. Bill, how many times have we seen you in videos? You never know where Bill Wright is going to show up.
Yeah, we see each other a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time I ever met
Could
you
be
was
random
in
places.
Knoxville.
Probably,
and I've
yeah.
seen you in probably surprising 6 to 8 hour radius of Knoxville ever since.
Right, yeah.
Bill is with the National...
Or 16 if you're in Charlotte.
Yeah. Bill is with the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Obviously my history and Knoxville have gone back a long way, and the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is a very important thing because it kind of preserves the history of our sport. They've got some awesome stuff coming from the Southwest.
Yeah, we're doing a tribute to Manzanita this year, so yeah.
Some of those cars look awesome and remind me of the ones that I saw as a little kid.
Yeah.
You guys are auctioning this thing off as always. What year is this of the auction?
This is our 15th car, so we've been doing it 30 years. We give away a car every 2 years. It's a triple X with an Al Parker 410 in it. It'll be, everybody says turnkey, but it doesn't have keys, as you know.
Yeah. Pickup not included.
Yeah. Right, but our deadline for tickets is Sunday, tomorrow, so as we speak here at PRI, and then we give it away Christmas Eve. So there you go.
Well, we appreciate all you guys do, and Bill, we'll just keep seeing you around racetracks everywhere.
You've gone a long ways from your origins in the Springs, so.
That is true.
Yeah.
Long way from home. Well, Nikki, that pretty much puts a wrap on the PRI show.
It is. Learned some stuff. Met some people.
Yeah.
Shot some videos. Bought something.
I mean,
best you're gonna do, PRI, right?
That's what the show is kind of all about. So, definitely glad we came. I know it was a tough week leading up to the show for both of us, and
we made it happen.
It's what it is to be kind of a privateer, professional-ish racer. Yeah, got to just make it happen. But pretty excited about what we learned. I think overall, our focus on getting a couple of these details right, getting our tires right, and getting our aero right.
Increasing some efficiencies in our program.
Yep, increasing some efficiencies in our program so that hopefully we have more resources to dedicate to other things that need attention.
Yeah, sure.
It's a good show, so hope y'all enjoyed coming along with us, and we'll catch up with you soon.